Hello duelists, Rustmarrow here, and you guys asked for it, so I've quickly translated the backstory of the crawlers that can be found within the Circuit Brick set guidebook in order to share it with you guys. So with that said, let's get right into the story of the crawlers and the Star Relics. Got it all in here. So, what exactly are the crawlers? The mechanical life forms who breed on the land where Star Relic Star Armour sleeps. The crawlers. The crawlers rapidly evolved to create many different species with various forms and abilities in order to achieve adaptive radiation. Now, I'm not kidding you, and I didn't even know of this term until I translated the story, but this is the literal translation of the Japanese. So what exactly is adaptive radiation? Well, according to Wikipedia, it's the diversification of organisms into forms filling different ecological niches. So to put it like really simply, let's say there's an island and there's this kind of bird that's living on the island, but in the different parts of the island there's like deep forest, there's like the beach, and there's like less foresty areas. So as this bird is traveling and spreading out to different parts of the island, even though they all begun from the same species, some of the birds that live in the non-forested habitats, for example, start developing different traits in order to help them survive. So for example, the ones that started off in the forest, maybe they'll have beaks to help them get nuts and insects, and then the ones that end up living near the ocean, because of course there's not enough space in the forest for all of them, they become more specialized for catching fish and stuff like that. So putting this into context for the crawlers, we have many different types of crawlers. So for example, we have crawler Exxon, and you can see from his artwork that he's sort of specialized to living in very hot volcanic areas with magma, high temperatures. And crawler Ranveer, for example, his artwork depicts him digging underground. So he's probably a crawler who specializes at living underground. So the same can be applied to the other crawlers, so go ahead and check them out. And let's move on. Oops, give me a moment. Right, so they lack individual wills and they are controlled by an overarching neural network which streamlines them into colonies for maximum efficiency. So in this sense, because each crawler is so different, some of them are better at certain tasks compared to others. So the neural network actually puts different combinations of them together into colonies so that a colony will be able to face any sort of threat. So just for an example, perhaps each colony has a fixed percentage for each crawler, maybe like 50% of crawler dendrite, 20% of crawler spine, and yada yada, whatever the actual thing is. But basically it's so that they can operate at maximum efficiency and potential. In the past, a group of crawlers actually once went berserk and invaded the forest of the Star Dragon. This may or may not be an accurate translation, but I did the best I could. Just know that this is the forest where the Star Grail people live. However, the reason for their invasion is still unknown. Since they do not possess individual wills, could there be someone or something lurking within the shadows, and it was that creature who interfered with their behavioral controls and made them invade the Star Grail forest in the first place? Who knows? So that's the backstory for what the crawlers actually are, and now we are gonna sort of pull them into the story with the Star Relics and the Star Grails. So in the center of the great marshlands where the crawlers hold their territory lies a relic of the Star God. Star Relic, Star Armour. The nature of the relic's relationship with the crawlers who use the marshlands as their center of operations is still unknown, but it is said that the Star Armour may be connected to the very creation of those marshlands and the crawlers themselves. It has been observed that the Star Armour flickers with a dim light at regular intervals, and some of the individual crawlers actually do the same and follow the same periodic cycle. So whenever Star Armour blinks, some crawlers will also blink as well. So it's like they are in tune with each other. But the details of this are still unclear. At the very moments when the priestess of the Star Grail came into contact with the Star Grail, the Star Armour suddenly stopped flickering and began releasing a powerful light. And at that moment, the crawlers swam to that light like flies. A day later, as Star Grail swordsman Aurum and his comrades set foot in the great marshlands following the guidance of the Star Grail, they were met with a sea of crimson eyes. An army of crawlers flooded their vision. The land was dyed red with the warning lights of the crawlers. linked to their neural network as well as to the Star Armour, the crawlers' evolution was further accelerated, resulting in the mutation of some of them and the birth of the X-crawlers. With the X-crawlers as the control center, the crawlers continued to grow and expand their neural network. Why the X-crawlers triggered this accelerated propagation is unclear, but with their actions to seemingly protect the Star Armour and rid their land of the intruders, there was one thing for sure. Such actions were beyond the realm of biological reflexes. There was no doubt that hostile intent existed somewhere within their network. Led by the X-crawlers, the crawlers surrounded Aurum and his comrades, and the heroes were eventually split up. Aurum and Star Grail Dragon Imduke fought well, but they were eventually cornered. However, Star Grail Fairy Reese discovered the weakness of the crawlers, and with that knowledge, the battle shifted in their favor once more. By targeting the X-crawlers who were acting as control centers, the heroes managed to shut down large clusters of crawlers at once. Breaking through enemy lines, the three hurried back to their comrades. But in the heat of battle, no one noticed the subtle change that was coming over Reese. So up here, I'm just going to put the artwork for battle surrounding the Star Relics, one of the new Star Relics support cards that came out in Circuit Break. And if you notice at the top right hand corner of the artwork, there's actually a Star Grail Fairy Reese. But normally she's supposed to be like all blue and silvery light. But now you can see that one of her wings has been dyed darkish purple. So there's obviously something strange going on, but we still don't know what yet. So let's move on with the story. On the other hand, Star Grail Warrior Ningils and Star Grail Priestess Eve were trapped by the crawlers. Believing that Aurum and the others would definitely come to their aid, Ningils fought hard while doing his best to protect Eve. At last, with the arrival of Aurum's party, the heroes were reunited once more, but their joy was almost instantly shattered, as a mysterious shadow unrelated to the crawlers suddenly interfered and captured Eve. And so, in order to rescue their taken comrade, our heroes give chase and a new battle is about to begin. So that's just the gist of what this Circuit Break set guidebook actually talks about the crawlers and their whole story and their battle with the Star Grails. So with that done, all said and done, let's go into some discussion about the story revealed so far. So basically, even though there was no concrete story revealed for the Star Grails, we can basically assume that the four heroes, who were they? The boy, Aurum, Ningils, Eve, and the dog, dragon, Imduke, plus the fairy Reese, they basically met, they found the Star Grail inside their forest, which was together with fairy Reese, and then they came together and they turned into their Link monster forms, and then they start setting off on a journey, hypothetically, to find the other Star Relics. So their first destination following the Star Grail is the Great Marshlands where the crawlers live, where they encounter the crawlers and Star Relic Star Armour, which is where this battle begins. So what is interesting about this story is that it hints that even though we know what the crawlers are, we still don't fully understand what is the will behind their actions, and it hints that there might be a force who could be interfering with the crawlers' neural network and using them as pawns to do something. This might not be Star Armour, because we know that usually we get the idea that they are being controlled by Star Armour, but there might be another force, maybe another Star Relic, or a villain, for example. Could be the Mech Warriors, the Mech Knights that they talk about in the flavor text for some of the Star Grail characters, who's actually interfering with the crawlers and making them do evil. So that's another possibility. And then moving on, we go towards the end of the whole story, where first we know that something weird is happening to Star Grail Fairy Reese. And this is happening the moment they enter the marshlands and they start fighting the crawlers. So it might have something to do with Star Relic Star Armour. Because Star Grail Fairy Reese, she's sort of related to the Star Grail in a sense. She's like the spirit of the Star Grail. So like maybe coming into contact with Star Armour might cause some kind of corruption. Or maybe Star Armour actually has its own Star Fairy, and that fairy is either doing something to Reese or like sort of combining, or something weird's going on, but we still don't know much of the details. So actually, if we look at the final scene of this story, the trap of the Star Relics, we actually see Eve being captured and taken away, and Reese is there as well, but in compared to the previous artwork in battle surrounding the Star Relics, she's even more dark purple and corrupted than before. So something fishy is definitely going on here, and in the next booster set, which I think is Extreme Force, we can definitely expect to see her maybe turn evil or maybe assume a new form. But now the other interesting thing we want to talk about is who exactly is this new enemy that the Star Grail warriors are going to face. Because even though the Star Grails fought the crawlers aren't actually evil, you know, they're just sort of a hive mind, they're just doing their job, doing whatever their mother brain tells them to do. But these people who are capturing Eve, there's definitely something going on here. So if we look at the artwork for the trap sprung near the Star Relics, we can see that as Eve is being captured by the energy ball, there are a bunch of shadows, human-shaped silhouettes standing on top of the mountain at the top right-hand corner. So we know at least that these people probably can use magic, they're probably sorcerers of some kind, and they are humans, or at least they look human. But there's something even more interesting. Looking at the artwork for Dolls of the Star Relics, we see Ningils and Eve back to back about to face an army of crawlers. But what is that in the background? If you look closely at the top left corner, we see 7 flashes of light shining into the air, one for each of the colors of the rainbow, and a shadowy figure standing under each of them. So we can assume there are 7 people over there, 7 human beings. At first, I was thinking, you know, maybe this is just like the light from Star Armour that is sort of like the strong light that Star Armour is releasing in order to control the crawlers, but the whole theme of crawlers and Star Armour is the red light, so if it was just one big beam of red light, I would understand. But Konami made sure that the light here came in 7 different colors. It's a rainbow. And you know what's related to rainbows? Weathery. The new archetype that's debuting 11th August in Deck Build Pack Spirit Warriors. Now, when I first saw this, my mind was really blown. Like, so far what we've seen from the Weathery, they don't really seem like bad guys or even like people who fight. They just seem like super chill. Hey, yeah, I control the weather. Let's control the weather, yo, and random stuff like that. But here they are hypothetically standing behind the crawlers. Could they be the ones controlling or interfering in the crawlers? I don't know, but it seems so strange that Konami would choose to specifically put 7 different colors of the rainbow here in this artwork, in this scene. Now, I'm not going to say for sure that, like, you know, this is confirmed. The Weathery are actually going to be bad guys who are going to fight the Star Grails in the future. We still don't know that, but I think it's definitely something worth considering. But I guess we'll find out in August when the Weathery archetype comes out and we see what they are up to. But of course, there's also the possibility that even though they are there and even though they may be involved in capturing Eve, maybe they are not capturing Eve for evil reasons, but they see that Eve has the power of the Star Grail. Maybe they are actually just trying to rescue her from the crawlers or something, or maybe they just want to like take her away and sort of like plead her, ask them for their help in order to deal with some other menace that will probably be related to some other Star Relic. And yes, but of course, comparing it to the artwork of traps sprung around the Star Relics, there isn't really any rainbow or any coloring around the shadows on top of the mountain to indicate whether these same people could also be the Weathery. So who knows, there's still a lot we have to find out about the whole story of the Star Grail, Star Relics, the Crawlers, and whatever random archetypes they decide to send out in the next booster set. But I really do hope that they keep on going on with this story because it's really shaping up to be quite interesting so far. And I'd really like to see stronger upgraded versions of the Star Grail warriors, because it was a bit sad that there were no new cards for like the Star Grail people in Circuit Break. But I mean, at least we got the Crawlers. So with that, that'll be all for the story of the Crawlers, the Star Grail, and some discussion about the story revealed so far. Hope you guys like it. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comment section down below. And with that, hope to see you guys in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Let's access the spinning, swirling data storm, and with the wind our heart.